Grand Rising. What it is, what it is, what it is, man. This is Chief Kalinago with a video, a build. Welcome to United Onion. We are empowerment ministry. That's what we do. You know what I'm saying? Bring a different perspective, as to breaking things down. That's in all, these religious books, that got our people literally, hold on for a second, fam. Hey, peace and love, brother. Hey, peace, bro. Give me a second, guys. Give me a second here. We about to do this. Give you guys some time to tune into this live feed, all right? Give me a second. This is live, so this is real life, but we're gonna do some work today. Definitely, as we normally do. Hey, peace and love, brother. I'm doing a build on Adam and Eve, Moses, Garden of Eden, the I am. So can we talk after I'm done? All right, please, I'll call you back. All right, Warren. Yeah. All right, so here we go. So what we're gonna do is, like I said, oh, by the way, that was my brother Crump. All right. So peace and love, peace and love, peace and love. What it is to all the family, man. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful day, a beautiful Sunday. I'm not talking about Sunday as in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'm talking about Sunday as the sun is out and it's a day. So let us not get it confused. All right. I want to change the mindset of the people. Every day is Sunday once the sun is out. You feel me? So we're about to do some things. We're going to break some things down. Once again, I want to give thanks to the Great Spirit. Want to give thanks to my ancestors for always using me as a vessel, to bring that message to, to the people. All right. As we do, the infamous greetings, Osio, Halito, Aloha, Shalom. All right. Mabrikwa, Sakpase, what the deal is, Wagwan. All right. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Nice, all good, Brother Crumb. It's all good, man. Like I said, this is all love. Let me give everybody a little shout out. You know what I'm saying? Brother, Lazorio, always studying, sharing information. Hola, peace and love. What it is, my sister. All right. Aboriginal American deities, you know how we do, we make it happen. Harris boys, what it is, and of course my brother Crumb. All right. Like I said, that's my brother. And none of y'all could turn us against each other. So y'all better know what y'all talking about, all right? For real. I'm talking about my brother for real. Blood couldn't make us closer, all right? So keep that in mind, all right? Keep that in mind. But anyway, we're going to talk about a few things today because once again, I know a lot of our people are caught up in the whole concept of what religion is. And like I've broken down in many videos, all right, what I've broken down in many videos tell you exactly what religion is. So even before I start, I'm gonna go back and show you the etymology of legion and what religion really is. And when we are done, we're gonna cover first, because even in the Bible it says in the beginning God created the heaven and the earth, but we didn't find out who or what God was until John, spoke about the word. All right, and also when Moses asked the Most High, what's your name? The Most High said, I am that I am, and that shall be my name forever. All right. So we're going to break that down today. So we're going to speak about the I am. Then we're going to talk about the Garden of Eden. Well, actually, no, we're going to talk about the I am first. Then we're going to talk about the heavens and the earth, because the heavens and the earth was created. And then we're going to talk about the Garden of Eden. We're going to talk about Adam and Eve. And then we're going to talk about Moses. All right. So we have a lot to discuss. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is let me just give everybody some love real quick. You know what I'm saying? What it is, my sister Summer Rain. All right. Greetings, peace and love. Osio, crush the legend. What it is. And Mildred, Halito, peace and love to you as well. All right. Let me just go ahead and pull this information up, and I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to get into this first. First, let us go again show everybody what religion really is. Okay? Etymology of legion. All right, so this is what we're going to do. And we're going to read that. And I'm going to share my screen before we get into this build. All right. Do me a favor, brothers and sisters. Take the links, go ahead and put it on your Facebook, your Instagram, all these different platforms. You know what I mean? Because my goal really is not to ask people to give up their faith. That's not what I'm asking. All I'm just saying is I want to show you the truth, and you make a conscious decision as to what you want to do and what direction you want to go in, because you cannot just start telling people, hey, you know what, man, this is fake. No, teach them properly, show them the information, plant the seed, and let them do what they got to do. So that's the approach that I'm taking. So I'm going to share the screen. Okay, share the screen, and let us go look at that. Now, I have shown you this a few times before, but I'm going to go over it again because you see, repetition, it has to be redundant. The brainwashing and the programming is a constant reminder of what they taught us before. So now we have to unprogram ourselves, or deprogram ourselves rather, opposed to unprogram. I don't know where that came from, but we have to deprogram ourselves by constantly hearing the truth opposed to what we were taught. So let's look at legion. All right, the only way to know what religion is, first you have to know what legion is. Because anytime you take the prefix re and you put re in front of any word, that means to do over again, meaning that it was done before. And I'm going to use that example. If I drove my car forward and I ask you to reverse my car, for you to reverse the car, that means it had to be driven forward. If I wrote a book and I say, well, do me a favor, rewrite my book, that means that the book was already written. So therefore, if you have religion, then that means there was already a legion. But what a lot of people don't know, they don't know that there was legion before there was religion. So let us see what the legion is. And then you will realize that I've pinpointed before that we never had this form of religion in the Americas and even in certain parts of Africa. Okay? So let me show you what the legion is. All right, 12th century Roman legion, a squad, a band, a company, a Roman legion. Okay? A Roman legion, a body of soldiers, a levy of troops. So that's all religion is. It's a reintroduction of an army. So I'm going to repeat myself. Christianity is an army. It's a legion. Islam is a legion. It's an army. And what it is, it's two armies that were going against each other. As a matter of fact, they were the same people. And they happened to develop different beliefs system. And they fought each other. Legions, two armies, Islam and religion, came and they fought each other. And they went around the world. First it was Islam, went around the world, terrorizing the world. Hence, they were the first enslavers of the American Aboriginals. And then Christianity said, no, man, now we want a piece of this. Because Islam came and, built an empire on our land, enslaved our ancestors. Now, a lot of you may take offense to that, but go do your own research. You don't have to believe anything that I say. All I'm doing is just showing you the information. Go ahead, and it's okay if you say Chief Kalinago don't know what he's talking about. He's a liar. We're not going to pay attention to that. That's fine. That's fine. But all I'm just saying is go do your own research, please. All right? So I'm just showing you what it is. I know cognitive dissonance is real, but don't let it affect your conductive reasoning, your ability to practice conductive reasoning. Don't be afraid to do the research, family, because it's the only way you're going to free yourself, free your mind from the captivity. All these things, institutions were set up to enslave man and woman. We are not living our true potential. We are not living what we came here to experience. We came here to experience life in its fullness, the good, the bad, and the indifference. So I'm just opening up your mind. Your mind is literally unlimited. So don't limit yourself to what's being taught in a book. Open up your mind, family, and let the sunlight in. All right? So here we go. Legion is a body of soldiers. Okay? It's an army. So when you put religion next to it, it's a reintroduction of an army, a power. But what they did was the esoteric society who knew the knowledge of that we were all gods. They took that concept, and when they brought it to the people, they realized the people just couldn't comprehend. The layman couldn't comprehend that you are a god or you were a god. They're like, what are you talking about? I'm a god. Now, we need something to worship. We don't feel worthy of being a god. We need an idol. So they started building idols, and they was like, oh, wow, it clicked. We could enslave these people. So they took the concept of what's in nature, okay? What nature has already taught us. It's within our innate being. And they took that and they put that in books. However, they tied their allegiance to it. I'm going to repeat that. They tied their allegiance to it and brought it across the world and pillaged people in the form of a religion. I'm bringing my army to you. I'm bringing my squad. I'm bringing my soldiers. And it's either you're going to be this or you're going to die. That's what religion is. It's an army. So with that being said, let's get into the build. All right? Let's get into the build. All right, family. All right. Hopefully, I think we are actually friends on Facebook, Brother Lazario. I think, I'm not sure, but if we are not, look me up. You know what I'm saying? Chief Kalinago. You know, well, just Kalinago space Flying Eagle, one word, and send me a request if we are not. I'll gladly accept. Okay. So we're gonna talk about the I am. And once again, when you're in school and you're reading and you ask your teacher for the definition of a word, what do your teacher tell you? Well, go look in the dictionary. So my question to all these pastors and these ministers is, why don't you have a Bible dictionary when you are teaching the sheep? They will not do that because they want you to remain a sheep. That's all it is. They want you to remain a sheep. They want you to, well, they want the only way for you to experience heaven is through them. Your salvation must come through a man on a pulpit, a pole pit, taking you to the pits of hell, the same pits of hell they're talking about. They stand on that pulpit telling you about your salvation. You feel what I'm saying? So keep that in mind. You did. All right? Oh, I mean, of course, we had, again, Legion is just an army. And we already had armies fighting on behalf of our ancestors, fighting on behalf of the Great Spirit. You know what I'm saying? So again, there's nothing new under the sun. All right. So I'm reading from the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary. Okay. You could get PDFs, of that online, but I just felt it imperative that I should have a hard copy. I've had this for years. All right. And I've been studying this for years. And it literally helped me, when I read the Bible, it gave me more of an understanding as to how to, comprehend what's in the book and not take it literally, because it's actually an allegory. All right. And so we're going to talk about the I am, because it says in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And we found out that God is the great I am. Okay. So I'm going to read, and just bear with me here. All right. I am the metaphysical. I am is God named in man. I'm going to repeat that. I am is God's name in man. So therefore, there has never been a time when man didn't exist. Man has always existed. You see, we are being taught that the physical body is the man. And when I speak of man, I'm talking about man and woman. All right. So I don't want nobody coming on here to, oh, well, you're only talking about man and that's not. I'm talking about man in man and woman. All right. So just to making my disclaimer. Okay. So man has always existed. The physical body is not the man. The physical body is just the host. All right. It's just the host. Now, I'm going to give you a typical example. Like I always do, right? This cup right here is the host. If you take the water and you pour the water in the cup, right? The water give the cup life. The water give the cup life. But the water is not the cup. Eventually, this water, if you put it in sunlight, is going to evaporate. And the cup still is going to stay here, but the water is going to evaporate. So kind of like it's the same thing with the I am in us. When it's time for that I am to evaporate, so to speak, or to ascend or move on, then it leaves the host. It leaves the cup. All right. So keep in mind once again, man is not the physical body. Man is the I am in you, which is God. Okay. So I am is God's name in man. Well, they have their own version of what it is. They say it's Jehovah. Okay. I'm certainly sure our ancestors didn't call it that. All right. But we're reading from a Christian, modernized perspective. But I'm just going to read what they have. Okay. The indwelling Christ. And in the last build I did last Sunday, I broke down Christ and all that. So if you didn't see that, then by all means go look up that definition. Okay, or the metaphysical meaning of that. All right. The true spiritual man whom God made in his image and likeness. So when in the Bible, the I am, the creator, the great spirit, God said, let us make man in our likeness and image, they were talking about the Christ. They were not talking about a physical man. They were talking about the Christ. They were talking about the concept of what man is going to manifest into. Because if you look at Genesis, you will see that there are two creations. You see what I'm saying? There are two creations. You have in Genesis chapter 1, and you have in Genesis chapter 2. So when they say, let us make man, they're speaking of the Christ, that perfect idea of man. Okay? That's what it is, the absolute. That was created in Genesis 1. The outer manifest man is the offspring of the I am. So the outward manifest man. So when Christ was created, the outward manifest man, which is Jesus or Adam, okay, is the concept of that expression of that Christ in the flesh. So that's what they're basically talking about. The outer manifest man is the offspring of the I am or inner spiritual man. So your higher self is what was made in the likeness and image, and the physical you is the offspring of that. Again, what came first, the chicken or the egg? You manifested yourself. All right. Don't let nobody fool you. All right. Don't let nobody fool you. That's why it says in the Bible, thou shalt not have no other God but me. You are your God. Don't let nobody fool you with that. All right. I know a lot of you might think I'm bugging, but hey, I'm just giving you the facts. All right. It doesn't mean that we don't have, other deities. It doesn't mean that. There are many deities. Just know that you manifested yourself. All right. And collectively, we are the universal intelligence. All right. By use of I am, we link ourselves with the outer seemings, or we make conscious union with the Father, with the Spirit, with the abiding life, wisdom, love, peace, substance, strength, power, truth. The kingdom of heaven is what? Is within. So why do they have you looking outside of yourself for heaven when heaven is within? So all that stuff is an illusion. All right? It's an illusion. The I am always assures us that the preponderance of power is with the spiritual. Fear throws dust in our eyes and hides the mighty spiritual forces that are always within us. That's what fear does. That's why governments and religion, their whole existence, they thrive on fear. Religion does the same thing. Okay? Governments tell you if you don't obey the laws, you're going to go to jail. That's fear. Religion tell you if you don't obey the commandments, you're going to hell. That's fear. But hear what it says. It says fear throws dust in your eyes. That's what fear does. It throws dust in your eyes and hides the mighty spiritual forces that are always with us. So when they keep you in fear, they don't want you to know of the spiritual forces that's in you that makes you fearless. That's why they thrive on fear. Okay? It says blessed, but I'm going to say blissful. Okay? Blissful are those who deny ignorance and fear and affirm the presence and power of the I am. I'm going to read that again. Okay? Blissful are those who deny ignorance and fear. So for those of you talking about ignorance is bliss, no. It says blissful are those who ignore ignorance and fear. Ignore it because it prevents you from ascending into your fearless self, into the spiritual being that you are. Okay? Blissful are those who deny ignorance and fear and affirm the presence and the power of the I am. They behold the mountain exaltation full of horses. Horses symbolizes powerful forces. And chariots of fire. Chariots of fire symbolizes life energy. So when they speak of the chariots of fire in the Bible, they are speaking of life energies. That's what they're talking about. Okay? Round about Elijah in the Bible means the spiritual I am. The I am can also be explained as the metaphysical name of the spiritual self, as distinguished from the sensate self. One is governed by the Great Spirit. They have God, but I'm going to say Great Spirit. One is governed by the Great Spirit, the other by self. Okay? So one aspect of your being is governed, pardon me, is governed by the Great Spirit. But the physical man is governed by the I am in you. So it's a hierarchy. It's a hierarchy. So the I am in you is governed by the universal source, what we call the Great Spirit, the collective. And then it individualized. That I am in you created its own being, its own man. Once again, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Which came first, the I am or the man? The I am is the man, and the man is the I am. So you cannot explain that. It's not either or. They have always existed. It's just two different planes of existence. So the I am in you created the man or the woman in you. You manifested yourself. However, the I am in you is part of a bigger picture. Once again, this is the source. I poured water from the source in this cup to create the I am that's in the cup, and the cup hosts the water, which is the I am. But that water is still part of the universal source. So collectively, if we were to take the source and put that into 1,000 cups, then you have 1,000 individual cups. That's why you have people that's called individuals. They are the individed. They are divided from the all. Individed all. So this is the all. Individually, we became individual I ams that manifested ourselves. We chose our body. We chose our experience. So everything that you are going through, you chose it. Your path has already been chosen for you. It doesn't matter what you do today or tomorrow. If you make a decision right now, I'm going to go left, and 2 seconds later, you change your mind and say, I'm going to go right, that was already written in your script. So you could never make mistakes. Your life is already preordained because you already knew. The only thing is we are living in a state of forgetfulness. We haven't tapped into the realm of where we came from, where we first started. So we cannot see our lives. But just know that there are no mistakes. There are no coincidences. Keep that in mind. All right? So just know that the I am in you, okay, is part of the universal source, that intelligence. All right? Keep that in mind. It says, Christ is the spiritual name for the spiritual I am. That's the Christ consciousness. And Jesus called it the Father. It is the Father of the personal will and a conscious unity between the two must finally be made to preserve the oneness of creation. I'm going to read that again. Jesus, some may say Yeshua, all right? Yeshua called it Father. Some may say Mother. I just say my spiritual parents, because you could never have a father and not have a mother, all right? So we're just going to say spiritual parents, all right? We're gonna deprogram ourselves. So Jesus called it the spiritual parents. It is the spiritual parents of the personal will, all right? And a conscious unity between the two must finally be made to preserve the oneness of creation. So that's why in certain instances, Jesus or Yeshua was called the bride. Because you see, you have to unite the two, all right? You have to unite the two to preserve the oneness of creation. Because in creation, there is only one. You dig? But we are separating ourselves from the I am in us and thinking that the physical man and the woman is all there is. And we tend to ignore the creator of that physical man, which is you, your higher self, the I am in you. Okay? You cannot escape that. You cannot escape it. You may try to ignore it, but you can't escape it. It's like walking down the street, all right? And the sun is beaming, the sun is shining, and there's your shadow, and you're trying to run away from your shadow. The more you run, the more your shadow chases you, it follows you. How can you escape your shadow? So you cannot escape the I am in you. Vice versa, the I am in you cannot escape the physical man. You did. There you go. Another example of that are the babies. You feel what I'm saying? There you go. The oneness in creation are the babies. Two entities coming together to make one. So there's so many different allegories or metaphors, so to speak, of presenting the information. You feel me? Now, America asked, stated that, so there is no free will. Yes, there is free will. Here's the thing. And, I didn't want to, get off subject, but I will definitely address that. We have free will to do as we should, not as we please. Because you see, there are laws that we set. Imagine a world, okay? Imagine a world where everyone had free will to do as they please. People would be lawless, but we knew what we set up. We knew what we subscribed to from the very beginning. We knew that we are creating a world where man was going to be in dishonor, where man was going to be lawless. So we already put rules in place. We put the rules in place. Nobody else but us. Nobody's judging you but you. So therefore, all right, there is free will. Don't think there's not free will. There is free will to do as you should. And when I say as you should, as what we already put in place. We already put that in place. But there's not free will to do as we please. Because doing as we please could infringe on other people's free will. It could violate other people's free will. You did. All right? So let's keep that in mind. I just wanted to break that down. Okay? Let's read. That is what is meant by the phrase, he that doeth the will of my Father, we must do the very will of God or the Great Spirit in our will, which is virtually to surrender the whole man to the Great Spirit. Okay? Spiritual character is the rock foundation of being. Build yourself into the Great Spirit, and you will find yourself in heaven right here on earth. Because heaven is right here on earth. Don't let them let you think it's outside of yourself. All right? Heaven is a mental realm, and only you could create heaven. Nobody could create heaven for you. Keep that in mind. All right. Let go the little self and take hold of the big self. So the little self is that man, that physical man that you think that's you. And you have to grab on and hold on to that I am in you, which is the big self. Live big because you are big. Okay? Not my will, but thine will be done. So it is not the will of the physical man, but it's the will of the I am in you that matters. And that's what they're speaking of. All right? The I am of each individual is the will in its highest aspect. The will may be said to be the man because it is the directive power that decides the character formation, which makes what we call individuality. All right? So that's pretty much what the I am is. All right? The I am is that higher self in you. Okay? That I am is, again, when I broke down intelligence, right? The aspect of, or the characteristic or the attributes of that I am came from that intelligence, that source. Remember, intelligence is not a man or a woman. Intelligence is just, it just exists. And everything that we need is in it, is actually in intelligence. And attributes from that intelligence is taken to create. And from intelligence, gods were created. Okay? Gods manifested themselves from creation. All right? Gods manifested them, pardon me. Gods manifested themselves from intelligence and then were able to create. And that's where we are at. All right? Just wanted to make sure I put that in perspective. All right? So we spoke about the I am. The next thing we're going to talk about is, I know I had it in order. We're going to talk about heaven and earth. So we spoke about the I am. We're going to talk about heaven and earth because in the beginning, they said that the Great Spirit, God, whatever term you want to use, created the heavens and earth. So we're going to break that down metaphysically. Let's get into that. All right. Heaven and earth. Metaphysical meaning of heaven. The kingdom of heaven or of the heavens is a state of consciousness in which the soul and the body are in harmony with divine mind. And divine mind is what's called intelligence. They say divine, I say vine. Okay, because it is still connected. When you're divine, that means you are no longer connected. So I'm going to put that in perspective and I'm going to say vine. All right, I'm going to read that again. The kingdom of heaven or of the heavens is a state of consciousness in which the soul and the body are in harmony with thine mind. That's the only way you could find the kingdom of heaven. All right. The soul and the body have to be in perfect harmony. So like I said, you cannot run away from your shadow. You have to stop and embrace your shadow. Become one. And then you will experience heaven. All right. Teachers of metaphysics find that their most difficult work is getting students to recognize that heaven is a condition of the mind. You see what I'm saying? So when your pastor's talking about, the only way to go to heaven and this and that, no, you create your heaven. Heaven is a state of mind. It only exists in your mind, nowhere else. And any man or woman telling you that heaven is outside of you is, trust me, is leading you down the wrong path. They are enslaving you to a system that doesn't exist. All right? I'm going to repeat that. Teachers of metaphysics find that their most difficult work is getting students to recognize that heaven is a condition of the mind. Jesus, Yeshua, eventually experienced like difficulty in making himself understood, which accounts for the numerous parables and comparisons that he gave of the kingdom. These were all illustrative of some condition pertaining to the kingdom, and never did he describe it as a place located in some distant realm. You see what I'm saying? So once again, go show me anywhere in the Bible or in the Quran where Jesus or Yeshua said that the kingdom of heaven is somewhere in some other realm. Go show me that. Ask your pastors to show them. Show me, pastor, please. Show me anywhere in the Bible where Jesus said the kingdom of heaven is anywhere in another realm outside in the world. And watch them stumble. Because it clearly stated that the kingdom of heaven is within. It's a state of mind. These pastors and preachers are deceiving you, taking advantage of your ignorance. Nothing but common day pimps. Yes, go tell them Chief Kalinago said that. Teach the people the truth, man. Only the truth will set you free. Period. Point blank. With another point blank. Okay? In spite of these oft repeated illustrations by Yeshua / Jesus showing the kingdom of heaven to be a state of consciousness, the great mass of Christians today are teaching that it is a place to which people who accept Jesus as the Savior will go when they die. Even in the metaphysical Bible, it's telling you that's what Christians are doing. They're telling you it's a place you're going to go when you die. When the Bible dictionary that came from the same Christians is telling you that it is not a place to go when you die. It's a state of mind. You feel me? Come on, man. Wake up, people. There is no authority in the Bible for such doctrine. You hear that? I'm going to read it again. There is no authority in the Bible for such doctrine. If such a place existed, Jesus would certainly have described it plainly instead of giving parable after parable and illustration after illustration, showing that it be a state of consciousness to be attained by the man. Okay? Nowhere in the Bible, Yeshua or Jesus said that heaven is somewhere, anywhere in another realm. I challenge any minister or pastor to show me that. Prove that to me. In Matthew 13, verse 31 to 33, 45 to 52, there are 5 short stories illustrating 6 different problems concerning the condition and our relation to it. Applying some of the laws of the mind as we know them, we find that Jesus / Yeshua was talking about universal truth and its expression. Okay? The mustard seed comparison is to show the capacity of the apparently small thought of truth to develop in consciousness until it becomes the abiding place of a higher type of thoughts, birds of the air. So all you need is just some truth the size of a mustard seed, and let it manifest and it will grow. But don't ignore that mustard seed. Don't do that. I know you're fighting. I know right now millions and millions of you are actually in church right now, listening to the shepherd that's leading the sheep to a slaughterhouse. I'm asking you to take some time. I can't tell you what to do. I'm asking you to take some time and do some extra research. Ask your pastors questions and watch them stumble. Watch them stutter. Because they're not here to tell you the truth. They don't want you to be free. They want you to be sheep. Okay? They want to enslave your mind. The leaven is the truth, and the woman is the soul. When a word when a word of truth is apparently hidden in the inner mind, it is not idle, but quietly spreads until the whole consciousness is light with spirit. People who have for years had this hidden word of truth at work in them are quick to respond to the larger exposition of the divine law, not divine, but divine law, and we recognize that they are ripe for receiving truth. Like I told y'all before, in nature, there is no right or wrong. There is only ripe or green. So it's either you are ripe for the information, ready for the picking, or you are not. And it says that right here. Okay, I'm going to read that again. People who have for years had this hidden word of truth at work in them are quick to respond to the larger exposition of divine law, and we recognize that they are what? They are ripe for receiving the truth. So if you are green, you will not receive the truth. Okay? You will not receive the truth, but you have to be ripe. That's why it is so difficult and it's such a challenge, okay, to show people the truth and them seeing it, because they are not ripe. They are still green. So you just allow nature to take its course, and one day that fruit will be ripened. They will be ready. They will start asking questions. They'll start investigating. All right? So don't be so hard on our brothers and sisters who are still indoctrinated. All right? Have some patience with them. All right? The treasure hid in the field is the logical truth that all that belongs to the being and can be brought forth by one who gives up the outer and looks within for the real value. So you have to give up the outer, all the cars, all the women, all the men, all the jewelry, all the money that we are chasing. Don't let that be the center of your existence. And I'm not saying let it go literally, because we need it to survive. But all I'm just saying is don't make it your ultimate priority. Without it, I can't live. No. Sometimes we have to let it go and go within to seek the true value of life. And that's essentially what's being said. All right? The merchant is one who is seeking the jewel of the soul or spiritual good through exchange of thought, discussion, and argument. He also must give up all things, so-called values, for the inner pearl. All right? The merchant. When you go to a jeweler is a merchant, giving you the jewels of this world. But if you are truly a merchant, all right, you have to seek the jewel of the soul. That's where the true riches are. Okay? That's where the true riches are. Or spiritual good through exchange of thought, discussion, and argument. He or she also must give up all so-called values for the inner pearl. That's where the true riches are. It's within you. It's not outside of you. Okay? The net cast into the sea is the state of mind that seeks truth in many places and gets much that has to be thrown away. So when Yeshua or Jesus spoke of the net, I'm going to make you fishers of men. Fishers deal with a net that's being cast into the waters. All right, they're not catching literal fish. Okay, all right, here we go. The net cast into the sea is the state of mind that seeks. So when you throw your net into the water, that means you are seeking truth. But sometimes when you throw your net into the water, you don't just catch fish. Sometimes you catch seaweed. Okay, you catch other things in the water, and you have to take those weeds out and just keep the fish for the eating. In other words, when you cast your net, when you get the truth, you hold on to the truth and you let go of the lies. Okay? All those parables, they have a meaning. That's why Yeshua/Jesus spoke in parables. Okay? Use your mind. The end of the world is the point in consciousness where true thoughts are in the majority and the error thoughts have lost their hold. So the end of the world, like I told y'all before, I've always said that the world is not coming to an end. For the world to come to an end, that means you come to an end. And we are immortal. So how can the world come to an end? So let me tell you exactly what the end of the world means. So when, again, these pastors and preachers and governments and institutions, they rule people by fear. Oh, well, the world is going to end, so you have to do this, you have to do that. No, they're not telling you the truth. All right? Let me break that down for you. The end of the world is the point in consciousness. It's all in your mind, where truth or true thoughts are in the majority and the error thoughts have lost their hold. So that's what it means. The world will come to an end, meaning that your old thoughts, you will no longer have them, but the new thoughts, the righteous thoughts will take over and a new world begins. That is the end of the world. It's all in your mind. Okay? This is the communication of representation, or pardon me, of regenerative process. And everything that has been stored up in the consciousness is brought forth and becomes visible. Practical value to the man. This is the householder who brings forth his things new and old. The kingdom of the Great Spirit / God is not eating and drinking sensuous things, but righteousness and peace and joy is the Holy Spirit. Okay? Now, that was now we have heaven and earth. So I spoke of heaven. Now I'm going to talk about heaven and earth, because in the beginning they said God, the Great Spirit, created heaven and earth, right? And it also said heaven and earth could also pass away. So let us see exactly what heaven and earth is. All right? Heaven and earth. Meta means metaphysical meaning. Okay, so when I say meta, you know what it means. Two states of mind. That's all it is. Heaven and earth. Two states of mind. Period, point blank. Okay? The ideal and its manifestation. So the ideal is the abstract. Okay? The ones that cannot be seen. And the manifestation is what we see. So therefore, this physical world is nothing but our innate thoughts, our imagination, that we came together collectively and created this physical world. All right? So the universal I ams, or the universal mind, which is intelligence, all right, came together and said, what? That's the ideal. Let us create something that we could manifest. But it first came from within. It's all within. So everything that we see is a reflection of what's in our own consciousness. That's why some people say, oh, this is an illusion. Yes, it's an illusion to the ideal man. It's an illusion to the absolute. It's an illusion to the I am. But it's not an illusion to the conscious man. So the conscious man is needed in this realm so that the I am could make sense of this realm. But when you flip it around, okay, so as above, so is below, the physical man or the conscious man need the I am to understand the things of the spirit. So you see how they work hand in hand. That's what's called being equally yoked. It's a marriage. Know thyself, my brothers and sisters. Okay? According to Revelation 21, chapter 21, verse 1, we are to have new ideals with the manifestation in the earth to correspond. All right? You have to have new ideals. In other words, your thoughts, you have to have a mind shift, a paradigm in your thinking in order to have a different manifestation of our world. If we continue with the same thoughts, then we'll get exactly what we've been having. But you have to renew your mind in order to have change. If you think you are a slave, then you will be a slave. If you think you need a job, then you will always need a job. If you think you need money, you will always be chasing money. But it's only when you renew your mind and you see yourself as the deity that you are, then you will no longer have a need. You will no longer have a want. And nobody's going to give you that. No sky daddy. Nobody's coming on a chariots of horses with fire in their eyes and walking on this, doing moonwalks in the sky. No. Nobody's coming to do that for you. You have to do it yourself. Nobody. Only you could save you. All right? And together we save our world. That's our home. The Great Spirit idealized two universal planes of consciousness, the heaven and the earth, or more properly, the heavens and the earth. One is the realm of pure ideals, the other of thought forms. All right. So the spiritual realm, that world, is the ideal world, the perfect world. The other one is the manifestation of just thought form. So everything that's in thought, it's being manifested in the flesh. Hence, the word became flesh. All right? Think of what I'm saying. Everything in creation came from a thought. You have to think about it first. That is the ideal realm. Like we could think about it perfectly in our mind, because that realm is perfect. However, when we tend to do it in the flesh, we have so many mistakes. Oh, nah, that's not perfect. I got to do this. But in your mind, you was like, man, listen, I know it in my mind. But to articulate it, to manifest it in the flesh is a challenge, because that's not a perfect world. However, it's imperfectly made perfect, because that's what it was supposed to be. So it's perfect, but in an imperfect sense. Okay? Keep that in mind. All right? Let me see where we at right there. Did that? Okay. The Great Spirit does not create the visible universe directly, as a man makes cement, pavement, but she creates the ideas which are used by his intelligence, image, and likeness to make the universe. I'm going to repeat that again. All right? The Great Spirit does not create the visible universe directly, as a man makes cement or pavement, but she creates the ideas. Okay? So when the Great Spirit said, let us create man, that was an idea. It is not a physical creation. No, that was an idea. And that idea have to manifest in the flesh. Okay? The Great Spirit doesn't create, again, physically, because nothing physical could exist in that spiritual realm. So it has to be in the form of an idea. That's why when you think of things to create something, it's all in your mind. Okay? When you use your thoughts, you are using the attribute of the Great Spirit. You are God. And that's where creation starts, in the thoughts. And then you bring it to life. Okay? You are giving birth. You are a creator. Okay? Which are used by his intelligence. Once again, intelligence. You have to tap into intelligence. Okay? You have to tap into intelligence to get those ideas, because that's where all the attributes are to create that. All right? And the image and likeness to make the universe. Thus, the Great Spirit creations are always spiritual. Okay? The Great Spirit creations are always spiritual. So we are spiritual beings having a physical experience. So your spiritual being, the I am in you, is a creation of the universal mind. But the I am in you is your own creator. That body, you chose that. You chose what your eyes was going to look like. You chose your parents. Oh, I want him to be my dad. Oh, I want her to be my mom. Okay, you know what? I want them to meet at the bar, at this club, at such and such a time. I want my mom to have 2 drinks. I want my father to say, okay, you know what, man? Oh, man, that she banging. She banging. I'm going to get some of that, son. You put all that in place. The day, the time they were supposed to have sex, the day and time you were supposed to be conceived, the date of conception, you put all that in place. Nobody else but you. Okay? So your parents didn't choose you. You chose them. So love them and thank them for accepting the contract to use them as a portal to come here. Honor your mother and fathers. Because they could have refused, but they granted you that wish. I mean, some people may say, well, Chief, what are you saying? If I got raped, did I choose to get raped? Yes. No, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's your fault. I'm just letting you see it from a higher perspective. You knew all that was going to happen to you. It is something that you wanted your physical body to experience. And like I said, I know that might sound crazy, but I'm just telling you what it is. We saw our life, our physical life, before we came here. Because in the idea or the absolute, okay, it was laid out. We created it all. We are artists. Hence, they speak of the cosmos. What's another word for cosmos? Cosmetic. What's another word for cosmetic? Makeup. Who puts on makeup? An artist. So we were the artists, okay, who used the makeup to create the cosmos, to manifest ourselves. Man, it's deep, but I got you. All right? I got you. So let me read some more here. Here we go. The creative process has been going on for eons. Eons. All right? And the great mass of thought, force, and mind force has been evolved. Man's body is the earthly side of an inner heaven. Okay? Man's body, all right, is the earthly side of an inner heaven or mental realm. The eye has fluctuated for ages between these 2 planes of consciousness. So the I am in you for eons has been fluctuating from the spiritual realm to the physical realm. Spiritual realm to the spirit. In other words, they're telling you, you reincarnated. You have been reincarnating for eons. But there's a lesson that we are supposed to learn. And we keep missing that lesson. And I'm going to tell you exactly what that lesson is. That lesson is that what we keep missing is really simple. That we are one. But we are blinded by this physical manifestation of what we created. The distractions. Hence, when Yeshua or Jesus went on the mount, and when he looked over, and Satan is just the adversary, Satan is just another faculty in your mind, came and said, hey, if you jump and prove to me that you are God, I'm going to give you all this. What did Yeshua say? Says what? Said what? Get thou behind me, Satan. Because all this is an illusion. It's already yours. We created it. But we are missing that one important lesson, that we are one. We are one. Out of one came many. And out of many, we go back to the one. But we keep missing that. I mean, I know I do videos and talk about Aborigines and Africans and this and that. But, you know, we play in politics right there. But when it comes down to the true essence of teaching, all that stuff is an illusion. It's an illusion. Because that doesn't exist in the spiritual realm. So when you take yourself to a higher understanding of consciousness, you'll realize that there's no such thing as a Caucasian, an Asian, or a Malaysian, or a Malaysian. There's none of that. An African, American, Aborigine, a black, a white, that doesn't exist. Then y'all come, oh, well, the white man is the cracker. Man, shut the hell up. Y'all are dwelling in your physical being. That stuff don't exist. Where do you think they came from? They came from you. So how can they be different from you? Man. But anyway, let us proceed. Here we go. An incarnation in the body is followed by a vocation in the soul. I'm going to repeat that. All right? Okay? All right? I'm going to repeat that. An incarnation in the body is followed by what? A vocation in the soul. Man, an incarnation in the body is followed by what? A vocation in the soul. That's deep. And these two are gradually getting closer and closer together. When they are united, the new man in Christ is formed. Will step forth, and the weary round of incarnation and reincarnation will cease. Let me tell you how you stop reincarnating. Okay? Let me tell you how you stop reincarnating. Because that's why they created a planet. It was a plan to keep us in a net, to keep us trapped. Let me tell you how to free yourself from this planet. Y'all think it's a game. Okay? Let's read this again. An incarnation in the body is followed by a vocation in the soul. And these two are gradually getting closer and closer together. When they are united, the new man is created in the Christ. That means the Christ consciousness. All right? And then the new man will set forth, and the weary round of incarnation and reincarnation will cease. So when you're able to take the spiritual man and the physical man, bring them together, know that they are one, that's when you will stop reincarnating. When you know that we are one. It doesn't matter what you look like, where you're from, what your culture, it doesn't matter. When you realize that it is one and you come together as one, that's when reincarnation will stop. Until then, you will keep reincarnating. So y'all could go ahead with your hating and your hatred and your jealousy and your envy and keep going with that. I promise you, you will continue to reincarnate over and over and over again and face the same hell that you created for yourself. A devil didn't create it for you. You are the devil, you are God, and you decide which one you manifest. You get up every single day and make that decision. I'm going to be God or I'm going to be the devil. Period. Point blank. It's as simple as that. End of story. All right? Let us go to the next one. So we spoke of heaven and earth. Now we're going to talk about Adam. Let's talk about Adam. Because we spoke about heaven, earth. We spoke about the I am. But let us talk about Adam. Let's see if Adam, what it is. All right? Adam. Adam. The name of the first man of the human race, according to the Bible. Okay? It clearly says this in the Bible dictionary. It's according to the Bible. The Bible said so. Nobody else. According to the Bible. Okay? But the metaphysical meaning of what Adam is, or who Adam is. Adam, the first movement of the mind, is contact with life and substance. That's all Adam is. So when I tell people in your Bible and you're talking about Seth and Noah and Abraham and Jacob, I am not a descendant of Adam. My ancestors predated Adam. Okay? When y'all think about it in a literal sense. Now let me tell you exactly who or what Adam is. I'm going to read that again. The first movement of the mind in its contact with life and substance. That's all Adam is. The first movement of the mind, and its first contact with life and substance. All right? That's Adam. Adam also represents the generic man, or the whole human race, epitomized in the individual man idea. That's what Adam is. Eve is the feminine aspect of the generic man, outwardly manifest. Male and female created them. If the ego or will Your ego is your will. So everybody talking about, oh, well, he got ego. Of course, we all got ego. We got a will. I'm going to chill. I'm not even going to go there with that. If the ego or the will, which is man, has adhered to the wisdom faithfully and has carried out in its work the planes that are idealized in wisdom, it has created a harmonious consciousness. Adam in the Garden of Eden is symbolical of that consciousness. Okay? Adam in his original creation was in spiritual illumination. So when you speak of the Illuminati and Illuminati, oh, well, they are bad. Man, listen, people are just using information that's been out there for eons and got y'all thinking it's bad. Okay? Man, when you were in your original form, okay, in your spiritual form, you were illumination. So you are the Illuminati. You are the illuminated one. Stop letting these people take our sciences, man, and making you think it's evil or it's bad. Nothing is evil or bad. It's the intent. It's what you do with it. You dig? Well, you say ego should be controlled by the true self. Not necessarily, okay? Because everything has free will to do as they should. Ego should work together with the true self. It's a marriage, okay? You cannot imprison yourself because whatever you have to express it. All ego is, like I said, is the man. That's it. Why would you want to control your man? You work with the higher self, work with the physical man. It wasn't meant to be controlled because you're making it a slave. It's only to do certain things. You see what I'm saying? So when you speak of control, yes. But again, be very mindful what that means because you could entrap yourself by controlling yourself too much. Sometimes you have to be able to express yourself and it may come across as ego. But that's people's perception though. As long as you're not hurting anyone and you're not causing harm, then allow yourself to be. All right? So I'm not saying that you're wrong. You did. Okay? But yes, ego is the flesh. I agree. All right? Spirit breathed into him continually the necessary inspiration and knowledge to give him superior understanding. But he began eating or appropriating ideas of two powers, good, God and not God, or good and evil. That's all that is. Good and evil is God is good and evil is not good. That's all it is. But he began appropriating, in other words, entertaining the thoughts of good and evil. All right? The result, so the allegory relates, man, I wish I could show you this, man. I mean, this, I know it's a little small, but let me see if I can show you real quick right here. All right? I don't know if it could shift. It says, maybe you could pause it sometime and see where I have it on the line. Allegory, man. It's all an allegory. All right? It's an allegory. It wasn't meant to be taken literal. All right? But anyway, where we at? The spiritual, the breath, express. Give me a second here. Necessary, he gives him understanding, but he begins appropriating spiritual life. Okay, so the allegory relates was that he fell away from a spiritual life and all that it involves. Man in spirit, absolute and unconditioned, but man forms an Adamic consciousness into which he breathes the breath of life. This is its perfect expression is the Son of Man, an expression of the divine idea. This Adam is all of what we term soul, intellect, and body. We are continually at work with this Adam. So the Adam in you, that movement in you, is always at work, striving for that perfect man. All right? So keep that in mind. So we did Adam. Now we're gonna do Eve. All right. We're gonna do Eve. Eve, the first woman, and the man called his wife's name Eve, because she was the mother of all living. Meta means physical, metaphysical. Love or feeling in individual consciousness. All right, so the woman expresses, that's what the woman is, love. Adam is the first expression of movement. When the original man, life was breathed into him and made that contact with life. That's Adam. But Eve, his counterpart, is love, a feeling in the individual consciousness. So Eve is within each and every one of us. That aspect of love, that feeling of individual consciousness, that's Eve. And we all have Adam and Eve in us. There you go, the yin and the yang. It's all in us. So whether you are a man or a woman, Adam and Eve dwells in you. They are all faculties, attributes. All right? And we just went over what Adam is. Now we are talking about Eve. All right? We are talking about the masculine and feminine energy. All right? Eve, love or feeling in individual consciousness. The I am, wisdom, puts feeling into that it thinks. And so Eve is feeling. That's why they say women are more emotional. Right? Because she's Eve, feeling. But men have Eve too. All right? Eve is in man too. But the only thing is Adam is a little more dominant in man. All right? Becomes the mother of all living. Feeling is the spirit which quickens. Woman symbolizes the soul region of the man and is the mother principle of God in expression. So woman is the mother of God in expression. So my sisters, know how valuable you are. Okay? And I'm going to read that again. Woman symbolizes the soul region of the man. That's why they said that Adam, the woman came from Adam's rib. It's all an allegory. Man cannot make babies. But I'm going to read that again. The woman symbolizes the soul region of the man and is the mother principle of God in expression. You are the mother principle of God in expression. In other words, you gave birth to gods. Every God got a belly button. You feel me? Back of the woman feeling is the pure life essence of God or the great spirit. Adam and Eve represents the I am identified in life substance. They are the primal elemental force of being itself together. Eve is very closely identified as the elementary life, which absolute life, the great spirit. The verb which is H-O-H, to be, being, luminous, absolute life, which forms the basis of the name, Ihar. All right? Jehovah is the basis also of Eve. However, due to the slight change in characters and a hardening of the vowels, it no longer represents absolute life, but the struggle of elementary intense. This is the struggle of the soul to regain its perfect state of existence of the absolute great spirit. Okay? So we did Eve. The next thing we're going to do is Eden, because they were in the Garden of Eden. Let's read. Eden. The name of the place where we were told, okay? Man, I love this. Where we are told God, the great spirit, put the first man and woman, Adam and Eve. That was in Genesis 2:8, verse 8. Isaiah 51:3, Ezekiel 28:13. A place that is professed against, and you have that in Amos 1:5, Ezekiel 27:23. See 2 Kings 19:12. No, 13:12. Also see a man named Eden, a Levite, is mentioned in 2 Chronicles 29:12. The Hebrew commonly rendered Garden of Eden is a compound of surpassing greatness. The word Gan means any organized sphere of activity, a garden, a body, a world, a universe. The word Eden means a time, a season, an age, an entity, as well as beauty, pleasure, all right, an ornament, a witness. Thus, it can be seen that only the most limited and restricted material acceptation would bring this remarkable word down to a small hinge enclosure, a small area somewhere in Asia, where the human race first emerged from dust of this planet. Now that's what they are saying, right? It was the Garden of Eden is in Asia, but because we have done so much research and we know that it's in South America, we're not going to get into geographical locations right now. All right, we're just speaking of the metaphysical aspect of, because we know all this is an illusion. It doesn't matter anyway. Let us look at the true essence of what it is. So let us look at the metaphysical meaning of that place. A pleasant, harmonious, productive state of consciousness in which are all possibilities of growth. That's all the Garden of Eden is. It's a place in your mind. It's a place in your mind. And I'm going to read that. A pleasant, harmonious, productive state of consciousness in which are all possibilities of growth is the Garden of Eden. That's all there is. All right. When man is expressing in harmony with divine mind, bringing on forth the qualities of being in divine order, he dwells in Eden, or in a state of bliss, in a harmonious place or body. So when you're in a state of bliss, you're actually in the Garden of Eden. All right. This is the book right here, Metaphysical Bible Dictionary. All right. And this one is by Charles Fillmore. All right. Just so you know. So here we go. Let us proceed. The garden symbolizes the spiritual body which man dwells when he brings forth his thoughts after the original vine ideas. This garden is substance of the great spirit, God, which is Eden. Okay? Or state of perfect relation of ideas to being. The Garden of Eden is divine consciousness, having developed a consciousness apart from his vine nature. Man must till ground from whence he was taken. That is, he must come into a realization of the great spirit as the source of his being, and must express ideas in harmony with vine mind. So that's what it means to till the land. I'm going to read that again. Everything is allegory, family. You're welcome, Brian. It's all allegory. The Garden of Eden is divine consciousness. Having developed the consciousness apart from his vine nature, man must what? Till the ground from whence he was taken. That is, he must come into a realization of the great spirit as the source of his being, and must express ideas in harmony with the divine mind or the vine mind. That's what it means to till the ground. Wisdom and love are joined in the great spirit, and a perfect balance is struck. The consciousness between knowing and feeling when man spiritualizes his thoughts. All right? So that's what Eden is. Let us go to Moses, because I know, I already put that in the title, so I'm gonna go over Moses. All right, and we will conclude. All right, until next, well, not next Sunday, but because every day could be a Sunday, but until next week, we will because every every seventh day or whatever you want to put. I don't want to get semantic, but what they call Sunday, every day they call Sunday, we're gonna be going through breaking down the things of the Bible, give people more an understanding. All right, so that's what we're going to be doing. All right, we're going to have our own church, so to speak. Okay. Moses, son of Amram, not Abram, but Amram, and Jochebed, and brother of Aaron and Miriam of the tribe of Levi. That was in Exodus. Also all of Exodus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. He led the Israelites out of Egypt and through the wilderness, preparatory to their entrance into the promised land. Moses, let's look at the metaphysical meaning of Moses. Moses means drawing out, extracting. That's all Moses means. Drawing out, extracting. All right? And that is example, i.e., from the water. The birth of Moses represents man's development in consciousness of the law of his being from the negative side. I'm going to repeat that again. Okay? Because the laws, the Most High said what? I put my laws in the hearts and mind of men. Okay? Let's read that. The birth of Moses represents man's development in the consciousness of law of his being from the negative side. Water represents universal negation, but water also represents the great possibility. Out of seemingly negative conditions comes the new growth. When we are what seems Egyptian darkness and weak as water, we are ripe for the higher understanding. The thoughts that rule in the darkness are bent upon putting out all the children of light. But if we are of the house of faith, as were Moses' parents, then our desire to bring forth the higher consciousness will find a protector. We must care for the infant thought of truth and surround it with the ark of the love and trust, right in the midst of its seeming enemies. Surely the wrath of man shall praise thee. When we have arrived at a degree of understanding of truth, represented when Moses was grown, we are zealous of our principles to the point of destroying anything that interferes with their freedom. The thought that seeks to destroy those who oppose us reacts, and we find our own people in contention. This leads to self-examination and to the revelation that we have been in great error and try to hide our sin in the deception of matter. This sin calls down on us the wrath of moral law and truth is obscured from us for a season, but he sat down by a well. The all possibility is about the manifest from another viewpoint, the well of living water within the soul. Moses symbolizes this progressive or drawing out process, which works from within outward, as applied to the universe, the upward trend of all things, the evolutionary law. In our interpretation, we observe the working of the law in the individual because it is there that we bring home the lesson through intelligent use of the hints given. We apply it to ourselves with great profit. Involution always precedes evolution. In Joseph down in Egypt, Genesis 37:23, we have portrayed the involution of a high spiritual idea. In Exodus 2:15, Moses fleeing to the wilderness represents the discipline that we must undergo when we have sought the exalted one. Horeb means solitude. That is, we have to go into the solitude of within and lead our flock of thoughts to the back of the wilderness, where dwells the exalted ones, the divine I am, or the vine I am rather. Whole kingdom is come, judgment. There we are training 40 years or until we arrive at a four-sided or balanced state of mind. So all that thing, man, all this is all within. It is all within us. It is not out, it's within. The light of intuition or flame of fire burns in our heart, yet it is not consumed. There is no loss of substance. In thinking, there is a vibratory process that uses up nerve tissue. But in the wisdom that comes from the heart, this bush or tissue is consumed. So the burning bush is synonymous with your tissue when your tissues are set on fire. Okay? This is a holy ground, a substance in vine. All right, so here we go. We good. All right, we good. We back. We back. We back. All right. This is holy ground, a substance in thine mind. When man approaches this, he must take off his understanding, all limited thoughts of the absolute. Put off any shoes from thy feet. At this inner wisdom center, the Great Spirit proclaims himself or herself to the father or mother, of fathers or mothers. I'm adding mother in there because I'm not going to leave her out. And the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Thus, our real father and mother is spirit. Okay? Yeshua said, I speak not from myself, but the Father or my spiritual parents abiding in me doeth his work or her work. Moses has given us the rule of action, but we must develop the acting ego, which is Joshua, all right, which is very necessary to our possession of substance and life, the promised land. So the ego is important, which is equivalent or synonymous with Joshua. All right? You dig? Because only Joshua could what? Could help us possess that inheritance, the substance of the promised land. Okay? As the activity of the law, once it succeeded by I am, no man knoweth his sepulture. Unto this day means that the law, Moses is the law that's within us. Okay? And what did the Great Spirit say? I put the law in your hearts and minds. So therefore, Moses is in you. The Red Sea is in you. Is carried along as the activity of a world of truth in the subconsciousness valley as man unfolds in the spiritual consciousness. The idea of divine law is one of execution and activity, and unless the consciousness is purified through realization of truth, the law of the Great Spirit is liberated in the sense of consciousness, and the destructive activities are set up in the organism. Purification of the mind precedes regeneration of the body. So it doesn't matter how many churches you go to. If you are not exposed to the truth and you're not living in truth, you could never have a regenerated body because you don't have a regenerated mind. So all this is an illusion. Going and sitting down in front of a man every Sunday telling you what salvation is. He's not telling you the truth. He's actually leading you into destruction and not salvation. And that's facts. When divine law is established in the subconsciousness, in the subconscious realm of mind, its activity is carried forward through Joshua, the spirit of wisdom, I am, Savior. Moses, the law, ever urges man forward to greater expressions of inherent abilities. But the law requires adherence to the certain principles, and it urges the children of real to go forward. Moses is Joshua. Moses in Joshua 1 and 2 represents the evolutionary force of new ideas that have grown in the subconsciousness until they have lifted Israel. What is Israel? Our true spiritual thoughts. That's all Israel is. And Israel going into Egypt, into bondage, is our thoughts going into Egypt. But I'm going to break all that down for y'all. All that stuff is made up. It's made up. Out of depths of sense, Egyptians mean bondage. So your thoughts, okay? Your thoughts, let me read that again. Give me a second here. Moses in Joshua 1, chapter 1, verse 1 and 2 represents the evolutionary force of new ideas that have grown in subconsciousness until what? They have lifted Israel. What is Israel? Our true spiritual thoughts. That's what Israel is. Our true spiritual thoughts. So everybody is Israel. It doesn't matter where you come from. All Israel means is that your true spiritual thoughts. Y'all want truth? Can y'all handle the truth? That's what Israel is. Out of the depths of what? Out of the depths of sense of what? Bondage. Egyptian. Egypt means bondage. All right? Into a higher life of expression. He has led the new ideas safely through the wilderness of our untried and undisciplined mind to the border of Canaan. Then he gives up his leadership to Joshua. In Mark 7:10, Moses represents the phase of consciousness that is concerned with the moral law. This serves as a purpose of disciplining the thoughts, but is only a preparation for the advent of the spiritual law. In Luke 9:30, Moses represents the law and Elijah the effect of the law. The assertion or the association of the two means cause and effect. All right, that's it. So that concludes, and once again, I'm reading from the Bible dictionary, the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary, showing you what all of this means. So because the esoteric society knew all this from within, they studied, they meditated, they got that information, and they put it in a book and let you think it was literal. There was no Moses, there was no Red Sea, there was no real Egypt. All that stuff is within you, man. That was created, and then they took what's in you and they put it and make it real, literal. The word became flesh. Okay? So I just wanted to drop that information, which for you guys. Thank you for being a part of the build. You feel me? Most likely later I will do another build, but I'm gonna conclude this bit of information once again. For those of you who feel like, you know what, if this lecture or presentation or lesson meant something to you, please by all means feel free to support. You know what I'm saying? This is not the typical church, so I'm not gonna pass the collection plate. All right. However, if you feel like you want to support, by all means support the ministry. All right. This is the United Anion We Are Empowerment Ministry. All right. And we are here to bring a different perspective as to what all this means, so our people could free their minds from this bondage from Egypt. Okay. So I thank you for being a part of this build. I do hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday, if the sun is out, wherever you are at. All right. And I'm going to leave you with peace, love, harmony, and light. And like I said, most likely this evening, I will do another build. All right. Yeah, it's true, man. It's really sad how people don't research and they just sit around and, allow a shepherd to lead them into a slaughterhouse. You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, man, know who you are. Know that you're mighty. Know that you're powerful. Know that within yourself, the I am in you is the absolute. You feel me? And the I am in you is the ideal perfect man. And that perfect man created a host so that it could deal with the things of this realm. So just know that the things of this realm, it really is an illusion to the higher self. But it doesn't mean it's not necessary. We came here, okay, to experience life in its full extent of what it was supposed to be. Good, bad, and indifferent. It is all an experience. And nobody should hold us in bondage. Once you know this and you have a true understanding that you are truly God, then you will know exactly what that means. All right. So I appreciate, love you guys, and we'll talk a little later. Once again, please support the Cash App, and let me thank you in advance. We'll talk soon. Peace and love.